the services they provide for the people of Auckland, but to save that exercise, could we just amend the recommendation there so to include a thanks to those organisations for the services they provide for the people of Auckland, if that could be included in the resolution, words to that effect.
And I'm happy to second that, Madam Chair.
Yep. We could put that after Northern Region.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, which then separates it from the Star Dome that is not a rescue area. Okay, thank you. Right, well, it's been moved and seconded. I don't need, no, I've got one more to do. Sorry, thank you very much. Callum, nice to see you. John, nice to meet you, and good luck and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I know it's great.
Thank you.
Now, Stardome, and can I recognise Catherine Harlan too? Catherine from the Amenities Board, and I know that we've had apologies from Vern and Anita, who are usually here. Welcome. David.
Excuse me, just get up. Got a bit dry sitting back there.
That's okay. Go for it. Can I just remind councillors, and certainly it will be the same later in the day, everything you say gets picked up on these. So just be careful what you say, because it's amazing what sometimes I hear from the staff when I go back over the other side about what gets said around this table, not openly. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good morning.
Thank you. Welcome, Stardome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. No, sorry, we're not here. We don't save lives. We think we enhance people's lives.
You do, absolutely.
Kind of, but appreciate what our former colleagues did. That's what they do, a wonderful service. Good morning. My name is David Holdsworth, and I'm the Chief Executive of Stardome, the Auckland Observatory and Planetarium. I would like to thank councillors for inviting me here this morning to update you on what's happening at Stardome. First, I would like to apologise for our chair, Jeff Mason, who was unable to be here, and to introduce two of my colleagues, Melissa Glue, who is our Finance and Administration Manager, and also manages our education program, and Delise Dyack, our Marketing Manager. Melissa and Delise will be happy to assist me in answering questions later on if they fall into their areas of expertise. Stardome is New Zealand's largest planetarium and a leading provider of astronomical and space-related education and information material throughout New Zealand. A trip to Stardome is an out-of-this-world experience. Lying back in the reclining seats and looking up at the 360-degree domed screen, visitors are transported away from the Earth to discover the wonders of our universe and exploring the big questions in science. How was the universe created? How did we get here? And of course, the really big one, are we alone? In addition to the planetarium, the Stardome experience includes an astronomy and space-themed gallery and exhibits area and a publicly accessible observatory with our large Zeiss telescope and smaller courtyard telescopes which are available to the public with most of our shows. Entry to the gallery and exhibits area is currently free, but there is a charge to see a planetarium show. Stardome is also the location of an internationally recognised research facility in which our volunteers utilise the telescopes on site to contribute to international studies and observations. Next year, Stardome celebrates 50 years of sharing a love of space, an achievement we are extremely proud of. During our time at the foot of One Tree Hill, we have witnessed many historical events. Man's first journey into space, man landing on the moon, the International Space Station being built, Pluto reclassified as a dwarf planet, Mars has been explored and is now lined up as a potential future home. And in just the last 10 years, research conducted at Stardome has contributed to the discovery of 21 exoplanets, which, as you may be aware, are planets in what is called, in the so-called Goldilocks zone around a sun, which means they have the potential to sustain life. Our public programs are a diverse blend for astronomical and non-astronomical events and shows. With this mix, We aim to engage with as many people as possible across our key target markets. In 2014-15, we had 3 lunar eclipse open nights with over 1,000 people coming to Stardome to watch the moon disappear into the Earth's shadow and to learn more about this phenomenon. Unfortunately, astronomical activity is beyond our control, and in some years we have more visible action than in others, which is why it is key to also present non-astronomical events to increase attendance. Some of these events include our recently sold-out Valentine's Day show and 2 open days, which saw over 2,000 people through our doors for short planetarium shows, solar telescopes and other fun activities. At the end of the current financial year, we expect to see around 155,000 visitors at Stardome, with over 85,000 paying to see a planetarium show and around 45,000 of those being children who come to Stardome as part of a school education trip. With 94% of our visitors coming from the Auckland region, we are dedicated to supporting the Auckland Plan and the Auckland Council strategy to make this the world's most livable city. One way in which we support this is our Southern Initiative scheme, directly inspired by the Auckland Plan's Southern Initiative. Around 65% of our visitors are children, most of who come to Stardome on a school trip. Space science is a future-focused area of study, and it is important that every child has access to education opportunities. So, with the funding support from the Regional Humanities Funding Board, we're able to offer children from identified areas of South Auckland a free-of-charge visit to Stardome. We are pleased to report that last year almost 3,000 students visited as part of this program, and in the current year we're expecting numbers in excess of 5,000. Regional Amenities funding has also enabled us to extend our low decile program, under which children from low decile schools from throughout the Auckland region can attend a Stardome education session for an all-up cost of $2, which includes the entry charge and the bus fare. Last year, over 13,300 students visited as part of this offer, and this year we're expecting numbers in excess of 14,500. This funding has meant that the Stardome education program can reach students in some of the lower socio-economic areas of Auckland, and we'd like to thank the Regional Humanities Funding Board for supporting these programs. Our education profile continues to grow with a dedicated team of educators, an online library of free teacher resources and near capacity bookings. We've identified that a trip to Stardome is just out of reach of many mid-decile schools. They don't have the larger budgets of high decile schools and don't qualify for low decile funding. Our education team are developing an outreach program to ensure these students don't miss out. A trial program focusing on the sun and being sun smart ran in February, and over 1,500 students took part. The feedback from teachers has been very positive, and we will continue to develop this program into other areas of astronomy study. Our long-standing residency at the foot of Mongakiki gives us a unique connection to Maori culture and local iwi. For many years, Stardome has provided the venue for Auckland Council's Matariki Festival opening ceremony, and while we are sad to see the event leave our premises this year, we are honoured to have been part of this important festival event, which is now a fixture on the Auckland calendar. Our Matariki Dawn planetarium shows tells the stories that link Maori culture and astronomy with a focus on the Matariki star cluster. In the last year, we worked again with New Zealand production company Ohu Domes to create a new segment for this show telling the story of Rona and the Moon. The striking visuals and emotive audio set the scene for this legend, which explains the shadow patterns on the moon. We are now in the process of creating the final segment for this show, The Great Waka, the story of Tama Raiti, a Maori warrior who, when out fishing, uses glowing pebbles to light the way, thus creating the Milky Way. Recently, we completed 2 important projects, a review of our health and safety manual and the installation of T-Rail signage. We have worked closely with Regional Facilities Auckland on our health and safety plan, and a new vision has been implemented. And this month we will be installing bilingual wayfinding signage in our foyer area. As a public education facility, we believe that it is important to be inclusive and to recognise te reo where we can. In 2011, the Auckland Observatory and Planetarium Trust Board engaged with Visitor Solutions, museum consultant Ken Gorby and Locales in a strategic review of the business operations and customer experience. A key recommendation of the report was to upgrade and increase the size of the foyer and exhibits area. This project is progressing and 2 interactive displays are in early development. With funding, we hope to install these displays soon, giving funders and visitors an indication of the potential of the project. One of the new displays will chronicle the history of space travel told in the popular medium of Lego. This historic timeline will touch on many subjects, including the first person to orbit the Earth, the moon landing, and the International Space Station. Made from Lego, these important events will be communicated with an element of humour while retaining the scientific message. We're certain it will be a hit with both the young and the young at heart. The second display is called Space Tracker. It is a series of interactive display screens which follow the project of some well-known space exploration missions. These projects are a hint of the significant changes on the horizon for Stardome. Our current lease expires in 2025, which leaves us with a difficult decision: to stay on the site and upgrade within the current building footprint, or relocate to a new location and purpose-built observatory and planetarium. Either way, we are committed to a complete refresh of the space gallery and exhibits area with more interactive elements. We are currently working with consultants who are evaluating other Auckland locations for their suitability as a Stardome location, with a view to our Trust Board making a decision on that within the next 12 months. It's an exciting time for Stardome, and no matter what the decision is, we'll be creating a legacy experience for the people of Auckland. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Auckland Council for its support. We are immensely proud to be marking 50 years of service next year, and the Council, Regional Facilities Auckland and the Regional Amenities Funding Board will share this achievement with us. Without the assistance of these organisations, Stardome would not be able to offer the people of Auckland this world-class observatory and planetarium. On behalf of Stardome and the Auckland Observatory and Planetarium Trust Board, I would like to thank Auckland Council for its ongoing support. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. Questions and comments, councillors? Councillor Lee.
Thank you very much, David, and thank you and your staff for the wonderful work you do for us here in Auckland. I was interested to hear the long list of marvellous events, astronomical and otherwise, that you referred to. I think you could also add 2 transits of Venus, and I remember visiting Stardome for the last one. I think it's important, given your cultural work, because when you think about it, the transit of Venus in 1769 and the transit of Mercury in 1769 was the reason why Captain Cook was in this area. And so he was not just exploring the South Pacific, he was also exploring the solar system just as you do. And so I think that would be a good interpretive way of linking astronomy with the cultures of our peoples in New Zealand. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I did keep the list as short as possible in the interest of time. I could have gone on a lot longer.
I'm a transit of Venus.
I'm aware of that.
I think Councillor Lee's told us that story before, because I remember it well. Councillor Cashmore.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. I'll come slightly back down to earth from Venus, and that's about when the school trips arrive with the buses, there's often a logistical problem there with parking, transits, kids' safety and so forth. So what sort of work are you doing around that?
That's an interesting question because it is something that's very topical at the moment, particularly with the new health and safety regulations, and it's something that we are working quite closely. We are working with the Maunga Authority, who actually are our landlord and who own the land on which we are located. So we are having conversations with the Maunga Authority about ways to deal with that. It is a problem, and there's no quick answer because our car park it's not just a Stardome car park. It's actually a public car park that we use. Our lease requires that it's available to the public of Auckland to use. But we do have a lot of buses coming in there, so we are communicating with the bus companies to tell their drivers to be as careful as possible. And we are talking with the Maunga Authority about whether it's possible to reconfigure the car park in some way to create a separate bus car park. But that's probably going to be a reasonably long-term project.